Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. In today's video, we will extend Microsoft 365 with advanced business workflow. My name is Clayton. I'm a Microsoft Business Applications MVP. I'm also a solutions engineer at Nutrient.io. In today's session, I'm going to mainly focus on how we can connect the document workflows from SharePoint to Slack with Power Automate to Nutrient workflow platform. Before we get into the actual demo, I want to actually tell you some context as to why we are doing this how-to video. We are in the Microsoft ecospace. We have got multiple platforms on Microsoft, but at times we need something specific. In this case, I'm taking an example of Nutrient Workflow Platform. Using the Nutrient Workflow Platform, you can automate business processes which tightly integrate with your business. These business processes are very, very important. However, when it comes to extending them beyond those workflow platforms, it becomes a little bit difficult. That's the reason why I'm going to take this practical scenario out here, in which we are going to connect the workflow platform to SharePoint, process documents from SharePoint using AI Builder, extract data from invoices, add the Nutrient Workflow connector in Power Automate and submit the form. And that's not all. We will also send the data out of the Nutrient Workflow platform as a Slack message. Without wasting any further time, let's get into the how-to video. So first and foremost, I spoke about the Nutrient Workflow platform, but I'm going ahead and showing you Power Automate, and there's a reason behind it. The reason is connectors. So what are connectors? In Power Automate, connectors are pre-built links that enable you to communicate with various services. You see, there are multiple connectors out here. However, when it comes to something specific, such as the Nutrient Workflow platform, the connector as of now, I again repeat, as of now is not available out here. In your use case, you might use a different workflow platform, and maybe that connector is not listed here. What do you actually do? First and foremost, you create a custom connector. Once you have that custom connector, you can go ahead and import it and use it in your Power Automate. So if I click on Discover All, you'll see that there is an option for custom connector. That being said, to create a custom connector, what would be the prerequisite? One thing that I can tell you is that the Nutrient Workflow platform is very feature rich. And I tell you that because it has a rich set of APIs. Let me zoom in a little so that you can see it better. So I click on Settings, I click on APIs. Now here, my friends, to create a custom connector, the most important piece are the API. If your workflow platform doesn't have an API, it's no good. But here you see the Nutrient Workflow platform has got APIs. These APIs can get you any information that you need. For example, if you need to authenticate, it gives you an API. If you want to get and work with files, it gives you the APIs. If you want to work with processes, most interesting, look at the number of API it goes ahead and provides. So long story short, if your workflow platform has APIs, then it is possible to go ahead and create a custom connector. In this particular scenario, I have already created a connector, and we are going to go ahead and use that. So going back to our use case, I want to go ahead and fill in a form in the workflow platform from SharePoint. So if you see out here, I have created a process. The process is very basic. It goes ahead and collects the information from the invoices. Approve a request, auto approve an invoice, and it will forward it to Power Automate. That being said, I go back into my Power Automate, click on Create, I create an automated flow, I give it a name, SharePoint AI Data Extraction. I pick up a trigger, that is when a file is created or modified, properties only. I select the site, I select the document library. Out here, I'm going to go ahead and search for get file content. So if you remember, our use case was to go ahead and get invoices. I again selected the site. I'm going ahead and putting in an identifier. So when somebody drops an invoice, it also gets the file content. So here is where the magic will happen. Understand this, I'm using the Microsoft AI Builder to extract information from invoices. And if you remember, we are going to submit these invoices to the Nutrient Workflow Platform. I'm going to add the Nutrient Workflow Platform connector. As mentioned previously, this is a connector that will be available soon in the Power Automate space. However, as of now, it's a custom connector. Now on my right, you see that I opened the form, and here you will see exactly the same form fields as that visible on your right. Look at it, invoice number, total invoice amount, and so on. So all I need to do next is fill in the blanks. That is, take the output of the extract invoices action, which is the action above it, and fill in the details. So I'll quickly fill in the details one by one. Here, my friends, the AI that extract information is really powerful, and it returns me all the fields. And I'm also going to go ahead and attach the attachments. So I put in the file content and the file name with extension. At this point, I save my flow. So if you remember, in our Nutrient workflow process, we also wanted to send the information to Slack. Now to do that, I'm going to use the Power Automate again as a bridge. So I'm going to create a flow and select the trigger when an HTTP request has been received. I'm going to give my flow a meaningful name, that is Workflow Automation Slack, because I want to send the information from my workflow platform to Slack. Here I have created a manual trigger. I'm going to pass it a JSON schema. From where will I get this JSON schema? I'll get this schema from the API action. The API action is used to send external request. In this case, I'm sending an external request to Power Automate. I'll go ahead and make sure that all the particular fields that I need are actually present. Once I go ahead and configure that, try to send a message to Slack. For sending the message, I'm going to use the post message action. The name of my channel is Workflow Automation. I'm going ahead and passing it the output of the trigger. If you remember, we created them with reference to the REST API action from the workflow platform. Perfect. So that is done. I'm going to save my second flow. So next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this particular URL and paste it into my Nutrient workflow platform and save it. I'll hit the back button. I'll go back to my flows. Now I'll try to accommodate everything on my screen such that it can make sense. So that's my Nutrient workflow platform. And there are a few processes that I can monitor. I have dragged and dropped the invoices. I'll refresh my Power Automate. Here you see that I have dropped 4 files and it has triggered. So excellent. I'll refresh the monitor request in the Nutrient workflow platform. So that's even better. And if you see, the invoice data is also getting populated in Slack. Isn't that awesome? We have actually created a bridge between the Nutrient workflow platform. As you see, the invoice numbers match. Everything matches. So this is a success. Invoice, the amount here matches. And if I show you the actual invoice actually matches with the data in Slack. And I think that's pretty much it. Here we have created a bridge between the Nutrient workflow platform, Power Automate, SharePoint, and Slack. I hope this quick video was informative. Thank you for your time. Have a great day. Bye bye.